Hard enduro! This got decidedly more spicy. Bouncy Sue through some slippery single track. Ride through some rivers. On a rally bike. It's my first ride on this Kove 450 FSC rally. We've got a pretty gnarly route today apparently. And not gonna be lying to you guys if I wasn't a little bit scared to ride this motorcycle. Initial feelings are it's very intuitive and it's kind of easy to ride, but at the same time it is very tall and it is a lot heavier than an enduro bike because it's got all this fuel in it. So, and it's physically bigger. It does have very good balance. Like, I just hopped onto it. I probably have ridden it for less than 2 minutes total. And all the controls, brake lever is a little bit low, but everything feels very intuitive. Feels very balanced. Pretty easy to balance, just static balance on it. But it's big and heavy, and once it starts leaning, it's hard to catch it. Height-wise, I'm 5'11", and I can kind of tippy-toe on it, so it's very tall. Much taller. It's probably as tall as, like, a little taller than a typical KTM enduro bike. So it is very tall. Gonna have to lead it to the side and have to be really strategic. You're gonna put your foot down. Alright, so I've been riding this bike for a few minutes on this kind of reasonably technical single track, and it's actually pretty easy to ride. It's very stable. The suspension feels, it's stiff, but it absorbs all the small stuff really well. You actually just don't feel what you're going over at all. Like, you hit stuff and the bike is barely upset. Suspension is really good. The bike doesn't feel super heavy, but and the engine characteristic is kind of interesting. It's not very powerful down low. It's actually very not powerful down low, but it's it does, when you rev it, that's when it gets powerful. So I'm not really super impressed with the engine, but the rest of the bike is pretty sweet. The suspension is actually really good, at least so far. I'm also a little bit annoyed at how loud it is. I'm gonna have to use the earplugs today, I think. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay, because this is a very loud motorcycle. On the Kove 450 FSC Rally. Suspension, ergonomics, chassis, all really good. I mean, this is super fun to ride, just awesome, very intuitive, very dirt bike feeling. The suspension is very easy, but also kind of weak. Like, it feels like it's got slightly less power than my KTM 350 EXCF, which is the choked up 350. So it's not very fast. Like, I'm actually kind of riding it thinking like, man, this thing is kind of slow. It makes a lot of noise from that exhaust, but it doesn't go very fast. Like, you have to pin. On the more open roads, I've spent some time pinning it, and it doesn't go very fast. Beautiful terrain. There's wildflowers coming down this mountain. This view in front of us, it is gorgeous. A lot of rain up there. Hopefully it's not coming over here. Deer running around. Hopefully they're not coming in front of me. GoPro would show how rough this track is. The suspension on this thing works freaking awesome. Adventures, going on adventures. Riding and exploring. Decommissioned roads. Very hard to read trail here. I don't know why I'm going first through this stuff. Kick-ass Kove, plowing through some underbrush on some tight single track that is just wide enough for the bars to fit through. Luckily, it's not a terribly wide motorcycle, but this is very narrow. Alright, back on the trail. Spicy. Ooh. This is a good time. Single track. This bike actually does pretty well in single track. The biggest problem is the gearing. Gearing is very tall. First gear is like not unusable, but not unusable. That was opposite. Second gear is unusable for single track duty. That almost didn't work. Those branches did not want to move out of the way. Another thing about this bike is it's actually pretty comfortable to ride sitting down because the seat is tall and the pegs are relatively low, so you're not really like all crouched down. So I think it's designed to kind of be ridden sitting down comfortably, unlike a typical enduro bike. These trails get more and more interesting. It's everything up. Mating dance of the enduro rider. Poor Jay. Hope he's not too close behind me. Kinds of shrubbery and some pretty decent climbs, and it's been raining obviously, and these tires don't have a lot of grip, and now we're going into a swamp, so that's cool. Yeah. Woo. Track on the Kove. It's slippery as hell. Woo. It is so slick. Trying to take it easy here. Not slide off this mountain. What goes down must come up. We just went down a pretty long descent. And now we're coming back up. Oh, that was a good time. Like a roller coaster. That's steep. Final thoughts on this Kove. Freaking awesome motorcycle. Even with the engine not having a lot of power, it is so much fun to ride this bike. It is incredible. It's very maneuverable too when I miss a turn or go the wrong way. Who put me in charge? We've ridden everything from single track to 2-track to road, and this bike just freaking handles it, man. The suspension is awesome, ergonomics are great, clutch, brakes, all that stuff's great. It is one of the most planted feeling bikes I've actually ridden. Even though it's tall, it feels very, very planted. And suspension's amazing. Shifter is a little iffy. It's kind of hard to shift gears, like it's a little notchy. But the suspension is so good. It feels a little harsh, but honestly it just absorbs everything. You could just hit stuff with impunity. If you see a log, you can just smash it. And yeah, riding sitting down is pretty comfortable. Riding standing up is pretty comfortable. Wind protection is not great. It just, all the wind goes into your face. But that's okay. It does keep the weather off of you. I stay a lot warmer on this bike. Yesterday it was freezing on a normal enduro bike. So yeah, it is a really awesome bike. I think it can do it all. It's honestly kind of the ultimate lightweight adventure bike in my opinion. I ride a lot of fun motorcycles, but this is one of the funnest bikes I've ridden in a while.